G'day, my name's Darryl Cochrane. The story I'm about to narrate is based on the fact that Zoos Victoria and Parks Victoria removed the few surviving Leadbeater possums from Lake Mountain when a feral cat was reported. This story has been written to engage as a way of ensuring that the community is fully informed. My mate Lippy. The other day I had a long conversation with my mate Lippy. It was heartbreaking to hear how lonely he was. This is what he told me. Hopefully little will be lost in translation from animal to human language, as my mate Lippy is a Leadbeater possum. Before February 2009, Lippy and his family lived an ideal life in a gully near the summit of Lake Mountain, living together with mum and dad, a brother, a sister and two aunties. He told me that the 7th of February 2009 is a day he will never forget. Mum and Dad told us to stay inside our home no matter what happened. Our home is an old mountain ash stag. Fortunately, it was in a gully. The noise was deafening and the air was thick with smoke. As the fire approached, all the air was sucked out of our house, sucking with it all our bedding. After the fire, everything was black, still smoking and no sounds of the forest, all life extinguished. Only an area about 50 metres square around our home remained unburned. We were able to scrounge enough food from this small area, but I didn't know what would happen in winter. One night when I woke up, Dad told us that some people had come during daylight and put a platform in a tree. We all scrambled out and launched and glided down to the platform. Auntie Lily went over to the bowl that sat in the middle. She took a lick. "Wow," she said, "this tastes great." All winter people came and filled this bowl a couple of times a week. The white snow that winter brought was a relief as it covered all the black. Mum hated the black as we brought it into our home on our fur after each night's foraging and exploring. With spring, some relief from the black as the tree shoots started emerging, also the grasses and sedges. By the second spring, things were looking up. The grasses were established and many of the trees were recovering well. The trees on the northwesterly ridge lines, had not recovered because of the sterilisation from the intense heat. Even the regrowth was sparse. My parents tell me that their parents told stories of timber cutters, people of the forest, that managed the intensity of bushfires by cutting down trees in a mosaic pattern, reducing fire fuel and fire intensity. They left our home standing, but we usually moved close by to new lodgings. Their parents told them that regrowth in these areas were great fun. They would glide down and land on top of the tall, thin saplings, and that would catapult them back up into the air and onto the next sapling. Fresh new life amongst the old forest. Hamish, my friend, the wedge-tailed eagle, tells me that people of the forest are endangered species now, soon to be extinct. As human people of the concrete forest, fake greens, say that their vast concrete forest experience and their religion says they must socially exterminate the people of the forest. One night on the glide down to the platform, I spied two bright eyes nearby. Quickly diverting to the other tree, I knew straight away it must be Ferocious Freddy. Ferocious Freddy is a huge tabby cat. He has decimated many of my friends. Andy, our friend the Anticlinus, told me when he was helping clean the human's kitchen floor up of dropped food, that the friendly people that filled our bowl told the Korea Greens that there was a feral cat around and they should remove it. One night I slept in and everyone left without me. As I launched to glide down to the platform, everyone yelled up to me, "Don't come, it's a trap." This was the end of my idyllic life as I knew it. I went back home and peered out and saw the Korea greens come in the morning and took my whole family away. Hamish came by. I told him what had happened. I said to him that there was a few distant cousins nearby that had survived the big fire, that I would join them. "Sorry," he said, "they took them away too. So you are now the only Leadbeater possum for miles around." A week later, Hamish told me he'd seen my family. Sometimes, just for fun, he chases the Korea greens' pet eagles. When he landed in a tree nearby to scare them, my mum yelled out to him from a jail in the bush. She told him that they were all depressed to be in jail after being free to roam the forest. She said the Korea greens treated them well, but jail is jail. It appears that rather than try to catch ferocious Freddy, they have jailed us, leaving him free to wreak havoc on all our native friends. Hamish sleeps in my stag sometimes. He says it's to scare off Percy, the powerful owl, who has tried many times to catch me. But I know it's really just to give me some company, as he's always snoring his head off when Percy and I are up and about. The Korea greens have come back again a couple of nights. Sneaking up behind them, their camera thing shows up animals like they are on fire. I stay hidden, as I didn't want to go to jail. Andy the anticlinus comes for a chat occasionally, but no Leadbeater company. And I think it's unfair, as I'm not religious, but I am condemned to a life of chastity. With the people of the forest gone, a huge intense fire will come again. Wally the wombat said I could shelter in his hole if I liked, but he's a bit grumpy most of the time, and his clumsiness means he would probably squash me. Hamish tells me that he can't get near my family now, but with his incredible eyesight, he can see that not all my family is there now. Unfortunately, he thinks that Mum has died as a result of depression caused by her jailing. Lippy said that Wilma the wallaby has moved away now because the feral deer have eaten all the regrowth and grasses that she lives on. Grumpy Wally the wombat reckons the Korea greens are too busy trying to socially exterminate the people of the forest and the people of the land to worry about the deer destroying our forest. Wally doesn't like people much, as they keep trying to run him over each night when he goes on his evening stroll. Wilma says she's heard of a new expensive gated community called Haining Farm. The same management team that jailed our family owns it. Deer are excluded by a high fence. Unfortunately, Wilma says, because of the jungle-like plantings, she can't stay long as it will turn into a fire-ticking time bomb. She doesn't understand the way humans spend huge amounts of money on a special gated community, and everywhere else, deer, foxes, dogs, feral cats are free to wreak havoc on our natural environment. Their original helmeted money-eater reserve at Yellingbo is now a totally degraded environment after 50 years of their management. None of her friends want to live there anymore. The people of the land and the forest, lifetime experience, now treated as social outcasts by hypocrites that in reality are total consumers of our environment. Forest and our environment needs intelligent management and experienced rural people that recognise our permanently changed and evolving environment. Written and produced in support of all rural Australians, the true conservationists. Thank you.